Hello and welcome to the Film Focus Online podcast. I am your host, Elliot Lines, and today we're going to unpack last week's Oscar nominations, not only diving into the nominees, but the snubs as well. Before I bring in my guest, wherever you're watching or listening, be sure to hit the subscribe or follow buttons and never miss an episode. So, let's get into it. Diving right into the nominations with me is Film Focus Online writer Alex Gilston. How are we doing?
I'm doing great, thank you, Elliot. How are you?
Yes, very well, very well. It's there's a lot to sort of sit through here.
Yeah,
Don't you think?
as always, award season is the craziest time of the year where you kind of feel like you're simultaneously talking about 70,000 films, but also feel like you're missing out so many other films that just aren't in the conversation whatsoever. So it's like this mix of emotions, and you're like, oh, what am I going to do?
Trying to catch up with all those films that you missed from, BFI last year and the back end of last year that you couldn't get over Christmas.
Exactly. And you're like, oh, it's going to be so good this year. I'm going to watch the majority of these films. And you look at the list and you're like, well, not seen that one, not seen that one, not seen that one.
I do
And
the
that's,
same every single year. I make a list on Letterboxd of all the nominees and I go, I think I've done pretty well this year. And it's like, you've only watched 22%. And I'm like, how?
well, the reason is UK distribution sucks.
Yeah, we do struggle with that.
Yeah.
I mean, a few of
very
these films
much
that
so.
we're going to mention today, I think, come out within the next like 2 or 3 weeks over here. So it's like
Yeah.
right at the end of sort of when we can watch them, really.
Exactly. Yeah. Right up until the moment of the Oscars. Yes. Crazy.
Yeah. And so last Thursday, we got the nominations revealed for the Oscars. The Oscars, what do you call them? The Oscar
Nomination announcement, I guess.
nomination? No,
Yeah.
the
It was, the
who are the people?
the people, the Academy.
The Academy members, that's what I'm looking for. The Academy members have been voting and we got our Oscar nominations. So what was your overall take on what we got?
I was honestly I was surprised at some things, kind of, because I feel like it's always the same thing happens when these kind of nomination announcements come out, where you already have in your mind like the ones that you know are going to be there. And like in the case of like Sinners, for example, where you wanted it to be there, that's like really exciting. Maybe other films that you're not as kind of huge on that are probably guaranteed a spot kind of get there, and you're like, oh, well, I guess. And then there are some surprises, and I think overall, I mean, I watched it live, and I was hooting and hollering like it was a football match, like. So of course Sinners got 16 nominations, which is the most ever. It beats out Return of the King, right, from 2003 or whenever it was exactly, which is incredible, so deserved. Couldn't have happened to a better film at all. It's kind of been nominated in pretty much all of the technical categories, the original screenplay, directing, the acting categories, and best picture as well.
Yeah, got one. All bar one of the acting categories.
Yes, yeah. Because of what I guess there wasn't really a female lead necessarily in Sinners, so it makes sense. But because I think supporting actor was one of the first categories they announced. And when Delroy Lindo's name came up, oh my God, I jumped up out of my chair. I was like, oh my God, this is incredible. I'm so happy because he got snubbed for Da 5 Bloods a few years ago.
He did, yeah.
Phenomenal in that film. How he got missed is beyond me. So I kind of feel like it's a bit of vindication, a bit of retribution for that snub.
I was going to say, yeah. because there's a name missing off the supporting actors list from that film that I thought maybe would have been there, but I think because it's quite a big hoo-ha about him missing out on the Five Bloods, wasn't there?
Yes,
When
and
it came
rightfully
out.
so, because
Yeah, yeah.
he is amazing in that film, like genuinely transcendent. And he's brilliant in Sinners as well. Like he's
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
this is like thoroughly deserved. I'm like so excited for him. I think it's great that he's kind of getting this recognition, and especially because it's a supporting role. You know, I didn't go into these announcements expecting him to get a nomination at all. Like I was just
no,
like,
definitely not.
Michael B. Jordan probably will, and that's where we kind of draw the line on the performances. So to see that like that small role has seemingly had such a big impact on Academy voters is just great. It's really good. And then on the other side of that coin, Wunmi Masaka also getting a nomination for her performance as Annie as well is, again, I was like cheering, just so excited.
This
So
is
yeah,
Alex's
no,
Super Bowl, I think.
it literally is. What's American football? I don't care. But yeah, no, genuinely, just so it's just so good to see a film that is so universally loved, and a film that kind of is dancing the line between that kind of like mainstream popularity, but also kind of like a film that's appreciated amongst critic circles and cinephiles alike. That is kind of being awarded, and also a horror film. Like there's conversations every year around the Academy Awards that the Academy is allergic to horror and comedy, and that they kind of usually just throw them to the wayside. And now the fact that a horror film is, and also kind of a musical, I guess, as well, is so
think
like the
so well
biggest
across the
nominated film of all
categories.
times.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's really, really cool.
I think we tend to every single year we get something like that where we're like, oh my god, the Academy's learning, but then they always they always seem to replace that with something else.
Yeah,
They're like,
next
oh,
year
we do
there's
this, and then they go, oh, we're not gonna represent women directors or something like that this year. It's like,
It's true. Well, we did get our token woman director
yeah,
nominated this year, as is par for the course
this is
these
normal.
days.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately. But again, I mean, glad to see Chloe Zhao getting some love again. I believe she becomes the second woman ever to have been nominated for Best Directing twice at the Oscars, only behind Jane Campion.
Jane Campion.
Um,
I was going to say, I
which
thought Catherine
is
Bigelow might have been up there, but she's only
no,
had the one.
just the Hurt Locker for her. But yeah, crazy statistic considering we're on the 98th year of these awards, like just mad. But still, regardless, great to see her there in that lineup.
Do you think there's any jobs? Well, we obviously said about Sinners, but do you think there's any films that have sort of overperformed or underperformed in what they sort of received nomination wise?
I think Sentimental Value overperformed. Not that that's a bad thing. I've watched Sentimental Value recently and thoroughly loved it. But I think coming out of the SAG nominations and also the Golden Globes, it seemed as though the film was kind of on the ropes a little bit of kind of how much representation it was actually gonna get in the nominations here.
Yeah,
But
wow.
it seems to have done really, really well. I mean, it got
I'm just scrolling through now, and I've seen at least 7 or 8 nominations so far.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely got screenplay, directing. It's nominated in 3 of the acting categories.
Yeah.
Well, 2 of the acting categories, but 3 of the acting categories. Sorry, four of the performances in that film are nominated, which is incredible. I mean, you have Stellan Skarsgård for Best Supporting, which brilliant. He's absolutely phenomenal in that film. Renata Reintz for leading role. She's again phenomenal as she always is.
Yeah.
And then supporting actress, both Elle Fanning and Inga Ibsdottir Elias are both nominated. And I think there's really a case for all four of them to kind of be in the front running for those awards, because they really put in some really stellar performances. On the topic of actress in a supporting role, I just want to kind of mention how like interesting of a category that is, because we've got obviously the 2 nominations from Sentimental Value that I just mentioned. We've also got Wunmi Mosaku, who I mentioned before, for Sinners, for her role as Annie. And then we have Tiana Taylor, who's been nominated for her first Academy Award. Should be her second nomination if it was up to me, because her performance in 1001 is phenomenal. There seems to be a trend here where performances by Black people are just completely thrown to the wayside all the time. But it is good to finally see.
And then they come back next time and go, okay, I'm going to correct that or try and correct it.
Yeah,
almost.
And I think it's great to see Tiana Taylor nominated for One Battle After Another. She's kind of similar to Delroy Lindo, where her character doesn't have a huge presence in the film, but it still has a huge impact on the overall piece, and I think it's well deserved. And then finally, one that I kind of didn't really know was going to be a thing until the Golden Globes happened, but Amy Madigan for Weapons is apparently a thing. I didn't know that this was going to happen. I get it. I'm like intrigued. Again, it's another one where it's like, oh, so a horror film here again is being, you know, being recognized, and that's really interesting. And her performance in that film is really, really great. And it seems as though she has a big chance of taking that category as well.
Do you think she does?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I mean, she got the Globe, so.
I mean, can we trust anything they say?
True. You aren't wrong. You aren't wrong there.
Everyone seems to have forgotten about the Golden Globes and what happened a few years ago.
I've said this. I keep saying this. And you know what? I just found myself doing exactly the same thing, mentioning them like nothing happened.
So did we. We covered them on the site like nothing happened. While I was sort of editing those posts, I was thinking, a few years ago, we were like snubbing this ourselves.
Not even stumming it. The show got cancelled.
Yeah,
literally for 1 year. They didn't even do it because they were that under fire and they were being criticised that much. And then they were like, "Oh, we've taken all of these steps to be better." What steps? I'm no more aware than anybody else.
And now the hall is filled with celebrities once again.
Yes, and critics. The people in the critics circles are just pretending as if nothing happened.
It's award season. We've got to. If it's there, we have to. So should we move on then to having a look at some of these categories, breaking them down?
Yep.
We would start with the main category, Best Picture. So I'll run through the nominations. You've got Begonia, F1 the movie, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, The Secret Agent, Sentimental Value, Sinners, and Train Dreams. I kind of wish they'd go back to 5 for this.
Well, I always remember it being kind of as many films as we feel like nominating in this category, we will nominate. It was never always a solid 10, so I don't know when that started being a thing. I can't actually remember, to be honest. But yeah, I see what you mean. It's a lot of films.
I mean, I understand they're trying to get as many sort of numbers out there, but I feel like there's some films that are included in those 10 that are there for the sake of it.
There are some sneaks. There's one sneak, actually. Let's be honest here. One singular sneak.
Go on.
I can't speak on The Secret Agent because I've not seen it yet. It's coming out in UK cinemas next month. I'm very excited for that. to watch that. Because it's been nominated in other categories as well. We'll discuss that later on. But yes, the one sneak is, let's be honest, F1. What is happening there?
Was it
Who
nominated?
decided that?
Has it been nominated elsewhere for any of these best pictures?
I think it's been nominated in some of the technical categories like sound and stuff, but not.
What about other awards?
No.
Other award ceremonies?
Oh, I don't think so.
I haven't really done my cross-reference checks.
It's given a little bit. If we were to put our tinfoil hats on, Apple maybe, bit of hush money to the Academy, just like, slip it in
help
there.
us out here.
Yeah, but I also think maybe the Academy just has a bit of an obsession with Joseph Kosinski because Top Gun Maverick was nominated for Best Picture a few years ago as well. So
that's true.
Maybe it's him. Maybe he's the draw. Who knows? There's no telling. We will never find out.
No. It's interesting you mentioned that about Apple, actually, because obviously now that's on Apple TV, F1.
Yeah.
You have got more representation from streaming channels like Netflix with Frankenstein, Train Dreams. That was a Netflix.
Train Dreams is also Netflix
one as well.
Yeah.
Amazon. I mean, the stuff that Amazon do, I'm not surprised that none of their stuff is in there. But Netflix always seems to pop up with a couple of these kind of artsy Oscar pushed movies every year now.
Yeah, I will make no mistake. I have some very tenuous, horrible feelings about Netflix, but they do seem, and I don't know whether it's just because they want to be in the conversation, which is probably the case, but they do seem to be dedicated to these kind of like auto-driven, kind of award-ish, kind of adjacent movies kind of at the back end of every year. Because I mean, these weren't the only ones. Like you had you had Jay Kelly as well, for example. Was another Netflix one. But yeah, I mean, and I'm not even mad at Frankenstein and Train Dreams being there. I think they're both great. Especially Train Dreams. I adored Train Dreams. I think it's phenomenal. So I think it really does deserve a spot.
What do you think about that sort of category overall, then, the Best Picture category? Other than F1 sneaking in there, do you think it's a pretty solid lineup?
Yeah, I think it's been a pretty solid. I think 2025, when we look back on it, we'll kind of go, damn, that was like a really good year for films. I gave so many films 5 stars last year. Like, it's actually kind of crazy.
That's not like you.
Well, okay. Thank you. Well,
no, I joke.
The chronic overrater of films here. No, yeah, but some of those films that I've rated really highly are on that list. Actually, probably most of them, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, Sinners being there is great. Hamner, I really loved. I really like the Begonia representation as well. I think that's pretty decent. We'll probably talk a little bit more about that as we move on to other categories. But yeah, I think overall it's a pretty good year. It's no 2022. I think that was a really bad year.
Yeah. Is there anything that you think is missing on that list then? I know we're going to talk deeper into Snubs later, but is there anything that sort of really screams out to you that maybe they'd normally do, but not even that?
Yeah, I wouldn't say that the one that I would mention would be one that they'd probably normally have there, but I'm really sad that Sorry Baby isn't there.
Yeah.
Kind of shocked at the Avatar omission, I'll be honest. I kind of feel as though that would have usually been a bit of a shoe-in, to be honest. I feel like that is where where F1 is.
Yeah, in that spot. Maybe the Wicked for Good spot, or like you say, the Avatar space.
Yeah, because they do kind of like to do a token blockbuster, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think apart from that, it's a pretty decent representation of like what we would consider like the best films of last year. Yeah. So yeah.
Let's move on to the acting categories then. So we'll go through Best Actor and Best Supporting Actor first. So we've got Timothée Chalamet for Mighty Supreme, Leonardo DiCaprio for One Battle After Another, Ethan Hawke for Blue Moon, Michael B. Jordan for Sinners, and Wagner Moura for The Secret Agent for Best Actor. What do you think of this category? I mean, Blue Moon's a film I don't think I've even heard of.
Yeah, and be glad you haven't. No, that's really mean. I watched this at LFF. I probably was overly harsh about it because it was like quite deep into LFF. It was like the second to last day. I was running on 0% battery level. I would rather have had a nap than watch it, to be honest. And I feel like that's really awful to say, but it's the truth. I'm really intrigued as to how he's managed to wriggle his way in there, because personally, like, even though from what I've said, like, you know, I've kind of maybe not judged the film fairly, but it didn't seem as though Ethan Hawke was doing anything like specifically brilliant. Yeah, like it just seemed like a kind of it just seemed like an Ethan Hawke performance. It was what it was for me, and I'm not sure who I would replace him with, though, if I'm being honest. I can't really think off the top of my head. Maybe Joel Edgerton for Train Dreams potentially would have probably been a decent shout for me. I think that's probably the
How about sort of the other four then?
it with.
I think for me, Michael B. Jordan in Sinners, you know, playing the twins, and you know, we saw last year with Mickey 17 with Robert Pattinson playing sort of two different characters. It's sort of very difficult to do that, and I think Michael B. Jordan did that fantastically in that film.
Absolutely, they're just two really well defined and very clearly different people.
Yeah,
and he just plays it off so well, and I think it's so well deserved. I think Timothée Chalamet, great. I think he deserves that. He's brilliant in Mighty Supreme. I think, could this be his time potentially? I've heard a lot of people talking about how kind of his age, and how he would actually be the second youngest person ever to win Best Actor. Just behind Adrian Brody by like half a year. I think Adrian Brody was like 29 when he won his first Oscar.
They like those kind of biopics as well, don't they? The biopic performances in the Academy.
Yeah. Well, I think he's got a good chance. When you kind of consider everybody else. Again, can't really speak on Wagner Moura because I haven't seen The Secret Agent. But considering the buzz I've heard about that film, I can see maybe something going on there that we might not have considered, interestingly enough. Like I said, I can't really speak too much on it because I haven't seen it. I really want to.
Sneak up on us UK film goers.
Yeah, exactly, and I'm very excited. I really am. And then Leo's Leo, man. Like, he isn't the best thing about One Battle After Another. He's great, but
he's Leonardo DiCaprio.
It's fine. It is what it is, isn't it? With Leo, I think. Yeah.
And gets eyes on the show if he's involved. Let's be honest.
Yep. Well, yeah. Exactly.
So, Best Supporting Actor then, we've got Benicio del Toro for One Battle After Another, Jacob Elordi for Frankenstein, Delroy Lindo for Sinners, Sean Penn for One Battle After Another, and Stellan Skarsgård for Sentimental Value. What's your thoughts on this category?
Now, if we're nominating any performances from One Battle After Another, it's those two, right? It's Benicio del Toro and Sean Penn. Like, they're operating on just a whole other level to most of the other people in that film, especially Benicio del Toro. I swear he just probably like did a few lines and turned up to set and was just like, I'm just vibing. No, I'm sure he's a staunch professional and didn't do that. But I think just the vibes that he brings to One Battle After Another are brilliant. And Sean Penn's just insane in that film. Like, and not even like as in insane as a synonym for really good, just actually insane. um Yeah, so definitely well deserved. Stellan Skarsgård for Sentimental Value. I mentioned it before. He's phenomenal in that film. He's really
Yeah.
really good. For the
And
kind
that's
of
one of the
time that
ones you
he's in
think
it.
its sentimental value is sort of deserving to be thereof. Do you think? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, 1000%. Yeah. Delroy Lindo, of course, talked about my
Yeah, we touched about him.
screaming and
Yeah.
shouting and hollering. Jacob Elordi is an interesting one, and interesting because supporting actor is, and this is where you can kind of talk a bit about how fluid we consider these categories, because
Mhm.
is Jacob Elordi a supporting actor in Frankenstein, or is he actually a co-lead? Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's bit of category fraud manipulation there,
Bit
isn't there?
potentially. Not saying that he doesn't deserve to be there,
Yeah,
because his
I quite
performance in
like to
that film
see.
is great.
I quite like to see that sort of transformative performance is recognised in there. You sort of don't get to
Yeah,
see them too often. That
yeah,
those sort of
exactly. And
films
it's
have been.
great. It's great publicity for him before we
Mhm.
see his all-time stinker performance in Wuthering Heights. So I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. He can do no
Oh
wrong.
no!
He's great. We love him.
so,
We
so we
love
think that's a
Emerald
pretty solid
Fennell. No,
category then. The best supporting actor.
yeah. And
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you who I think would win that either. I think it could be any of them, genuinely.
I mean, that's what you want, isn't it? You want to sort of have a bit. You don't. You tend to get these sort of categories where you have literally a standout every year, and it's just like, well, you know what's going to
Hmm.
happen. You want a few of these categories to be a little bit like throw something at you that you don't not expecting.
Yeah,
So
exactly. It's always best. Yeah.
moving on then to the actresses. Best actress, we've got Jessie Buckley for Hamnet, Rose Byrne, If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You, Kate Hudson for Song Sung Blue, Renate I'm going to butcher this name. Reinsver?
I think it's Reinsver. Yeah, I'm
Reinsver?
not sure I pronounce it correctly either, which is I really should have. But I'm pretty sure it's Renat Reinsver. Yeah,
For Sentimental Value, and Emma Stone for Begonia. Strong category, do you think?
most part. Yeah.
What one are
Not
you alluding to?
Kate Hudson. No. The thing is, I've seen Song Sung Blue, and she's not bad in that film. Like, it's a
Yeah.
decent performance. It's very what I would consider to be like Academy Gold. Like, they love that. They love the type of performance that she's
Mhm.
throwing in on that film. Like, it's kind of the biopic, the kind of based on a true story, kind of overly dramatic. Like,
Mhm.
we're kind of leaning into melodrama. You know, she's going through some unimaginable, like, terrible life events, and she's just kind of chewing the scenery left, right, and center. But the Academy loves that, like,
100%.
down and out. So I'm not surprised that she's been nominated, but I do fear that she and I'm gonna say it, Emma Stone, I fear, have
Mhm.
both taken spots from more deserving people, in my opinion. Yeah. Unfortunately. I mean, Emma Stone's performance in Begonia was great, but listen, she's got two. She can have a rest.
She's got a few more years in her.
Yeah,
Let other people
she's
have a
definitely
limelight.
got another. Yeah, she's got another dozen Oscar-worthy performances in her, if not more. So I think she's all right having a year
You-
off
I think you
potentially.
do tend to get that though with the acting and actress sort of the actor and actress categories. You get those ones that get nominated over and over again, even if their performances aren't quite like they're still great because you know these people are great actors, but
Of
they're
course,
not
yeah.
for that performance. Is like you think is that any better than what they got nominated for 2 years ago? No, probably not. And you always seem to get these staple people that are always there.
Yeah, and the problem is as well with that is that you're kind of taking spots in a category away from people who haven't been nominated before and who have put in performances that live up to or exceed that performance as well. And it's just so cutthroat in that sense, and it is kind of really sad. But
So
that is the way
it
the
is.
cookie crumbles.
So who do you think's going to win that one then?
It's Jessie Buckley, I think, all day. Yeah. I watched Hamnet again recently, and there's no way that she doesn't win that Oscar. There's no way whatsoever. The places that she goes to with Agnes as a character and the kind of things that she portrays just through like the grief that her character is facing is like mad. Like how she got to those places to make it feel so kind of realistic it's just crazy, and I think she utterly deserves it. She as a reader of the book, she breathed life into that character that
that's really
I just could not have foreseen. So yeah,
I think she's an actress that's got such a wide range of abilities. She does a wide range of genres. It's good to see that she's getting sort of recognition for this performance, but then that proves that the rest of her performances are up to that standard still.
Exactly. I'd also just mention, I haven't seen If I Had Legs I'd Kick You yet. I really want to, but I feel as though Rose Byrne, I mean, I love Rose Byrne. I think she's brilliant in everything that she's in, so I'm not surprised that she's there. So yeah.
So final then, the final acting and actress character category is the best supporting actress. We got Ellie Fanning for Sentimental Value, Inga Ibsdotter Lilius for Sentimental Value, Amy Madigan for Weapons, Wunmi Musaka for Sinners, and Tiana Taylor for One Battle After. How do you feel about this one?
Yeah, I mean, as I said before, I think this is one of the best categories of the whole of this year. It's such a strong category. So many great actresses there, just doing stellar work.
Doing great stuff.
Yeah, I mean, Elle Fanning. Again, another one where I wasn't quite sure whether she would make it or not. What she's doing in Sentimental Value is really, really great stuff, and so kind of thought out and beautiful. And again, Inga Ibsdotter Lilias, who is more connected to Renate Reinsver's character in that film, and she's kind of like more of an emotional anchor in that, and she just plays that so well too. And then obviously Wunmi Musaku for Sinners, she's incredible in that film, and yeah, just brilliant.
I always find these categories interesting, like these supporting actor actually, where you've got two actresses and actors from the same film trying to fight it out for. I find it interesting that almost happens, that they don't push for one rather than the other, but they're obviously good enough to beat everyone else out and get those nominations in.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, look, if there's two there, it just means that the reason for them being there is that they were that good. So
we can't go through all of the categories because we'll be here all night. I think before we jump on to maybe the technical and craft categories, I think we'd be wrong because it's me and you not to jump onto the animated feature just briefly and see what you think about. Do you want to think about these? So nominated is Arco, Elio, K-pop Demon Hunters, Little Amelie or the Character of Rain, and Zootopia 2. So what do you think about this lineup?
It's interesting. We're talking before about how 2025 has been a really great year for film. I can't say the same that it's been a really great year for animated films. Yeah, I don't think it's not.
I agree. Yeah.
It's not been as strong as other years in recent memory. But these, I would say, are probably kind of the highlights. You've got your usual Disney films that kind of get in there all the time, but Zootopia 2 is good. I really, really like Zootopia 2. I think it deserves to be there. It's decent. I even liked Elio. Shoot me.
So your Pixar representation in there.
Well, exactly. You got to get it there. I think people believe that Pixar is on this like generational downturn at the minute, and I don't agree completely because I've been loving everything that they've been putting out. Mainly the original stuff. I love the original stuff. I mean, they've got another original film coming out this year. I know that Toy Story 5's coming up, but I think if people put more worth into the original films that Pixar are releasing, that maybe people will realize that they're actually still making really decent films that kind of live
Pixar's
up
an
to.
interesting one because I don't think
Yeah,
people are giving these originals a chance because of how good,
no,
say, the previous ones was. You got your Toy Stories, your Finding Nemo, just stuff, ones like that that have become a staple in the animation. That people aren't giving these originals enough time to sort of bed in, and they're expecting too
exactly.
much. So it's good to see that they're
Well, I
still
think,
being represented.
yeah, exactly. And then K-pop Demon Hunters, I mean, obviously that was going to be the most popular film of all time on Netflix. Took the world by storm, is still taking the world by storm, I guess. And it's a great film. The songs are really catchy. They were kind of on repeat when I first watched them. And yeah, so I'm happy that's in there. I haven't seen Little Emily. I did have a chance to watch it at Manchester Animation Festival, but unfortunately didn't get to it. But one I did watch that is nominated, that I watched at Manchester Animation Festival was Arco, which I am really happy to see because it was really good. I really, really liked it. It weirdly, in my kind of mini review, I likened it to like a kind of uh a less cynical Begonia. Um, I'm just going to go straight in with the Begonia spoilers now.
Yeah.
But obviously, Begonia is very the kind of line that Begonia takes is very much the human race is completely screwed. With we're completely wasting this world that we have and
Hmm.
destroying it, and it's ultimately going to end up in us being erased from it. Um, and the film kind of ends like that. There's no kind of hopeful kind of overture, really. The
Hmm.
bubble pops, and that's it. The film's like, yeah, you're kind of screwed. Arco has similar themes. I mean, it's kind of a time travel thing, um, but it is set in the future, so it's like a time travel from extra further in the future back to what is present day in the film, but is our future,
Hmm.
where like climate change is still a really hot pressing issue. It's kind of getting worse and making people's lives worse. But the ending of the film is more kind of optimistic, actually, and it's kind of like I said, it would work well as a double feature with Begonia because you could watch Begonia and get really depressed. Then you can watch Arco and be like, oh, actually, the kids are all right. The next
Pick me up.
generation's gonna sort us out. um, and yeah, it's just a really lovely little film. The animation's beautiful too, and the English voice acting cast is actually really fun. You got Will Ferrell and Andy Samberg in there,
Okay.
and Mark Ruffalo. That just to name a few. But yeah, I'm really happy it's there. I think it's a really, really great film, really well animated, and yeah, really cool.
So, shall we touch upon the technical categories then? Is there anything that sort of stands out here that you'd like to sort of mention and talk about?
I Yeah, really happy to see Train Dreams in cinematography.
Hmm.
That film is gorgeous to look at. Um, I yeah, but also kind of the other ones in that category. I'm pretty happy to see Sinners. Um, Again, love the cinematography in that film as well. One Battle After Another is great too, actually, for that category. Great to see Ruth E. Carter nominated once again for her costume design for Sinners. Trying to think what else really that kind of stands out in terms of like the technical side of things.
Nothing really. It's all very what you'd expect. I think these sort of
Yeah,
categories.
no, I
There's
think
nothing
I
that
think you're right. Yeah,
Did you wanted to touch upon casting? Did you not?
Yes, actually. So casting has over the next few years as the Academy comes towards its 100th year,
Mm-hmm.
they are introducing a few new categories. I know that
Mm-hmm.
stunts are being introduced in the next couple of years, I
Yes.
believe.
Is that next year? Next year or
Could
year
be.
after?
Yeah, or maybe for
Yeah.
the 100th. Yeah,
Yeah.
would maybe make sense. Yeah, but the one that they've introduced this year, finally, and weird that it's never been part of the Academy
No, I
Awards.
agree. It's quite a big
It's
part of
interesting as
films as
well.
well.
Yeah, well, exactly. And also, like when you watch the BAFTAs, like from a British perspective, the
Yeah.
casting has always been there.
Mhm.
Casting, so it's great to see it finally kind of break through. So casting, you've got Nina Gold for Hamnet, Jennifer Venditti for My Supreme, Cassandra Kulakundis for One Battle After Another, Gabriel Dominguez for The Secret Agent, and Francine Maisler for Sinners. Yeah, I'm just excited to see the category there. Like, I think
I know, yeah.
obviously that there's probably not many surprises in terms of the films that have been nominated. I love Nina Gold. Nina Gold's great. You know when you watch a film and you're like, whoever did the casting in this film is a legend, and it's always Nina Gold. It's always Nina Gold. She's always there. So that's really interesting. Another thing that I've seen a few people point out and does kind of seem a bit strange, actually, is the fact that Sentimental Value isn't nominated in that category, considering that Sentimental Value has 4 acting
That's
nominations,
directing
which,
nominations.
you know, yeah.
Seems a bit backward,
Make
doesn't
that
it?
one make sense. Yeah. Huh. Okay. But yeah, but apart from that, I think it's very good that they've finally introduced the category, and it'll be
Yeah.
interesting to see kind of what it ushers in.
Now then, we're going to go on to everyone's favourite part, the snubs. It's time to complain. Take us away with your
Yeah.
major snub.
Okay. Well, when we did the Best of the Year podcast, of course, my favorite film of 2025 was Sorry Baby.
Mm-hmm.
Really sad to see Sorry Baby completely shut out. I would have thought at the very least they could have given it a screenplay nomination. Like, come on. But the fact that we're not seeing Ava Victor in an acting category or seeing it in Best Picture, which I know
Mm-hmm.
was probably a bit of a pipe dream, but it's sad. It's sad. I think Ava Victor did some incredible work on that film, and I think was it Julia Roberts at the Golden Globes who shouted Ava Victor out. I think it was
Yeah,
Julia Roberts.
yeah.
It wasn't
Something
enough.
like
It was she tried. She tried.
that.
Maybe Oscar voting closed the day before she made that that comment. No, but yeah, so quite sad about that. Would have loved to see Chase Infinity in actress. I think that she's phenomenal in One Battle After Another, and it's kind of crazy that Leo and Benicio and Sean are all nominated, but she and
She
Tiana as
hasn't
well,
been.
and she isn't. Yeah, considering she's like the literal central figure of the film.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, that's a bit of an odd one for me. I would have loved to see Jennifer Lawrence for Die My Love again. Was probably not going to happen, but I think she does some phenomenal work in that film. Love Jennifer Lawrence, always will. So yeah, so it would have been great to see her there. I think that the main one I think that a lot of people are talking about is that Wicked Part 2
Yeah,
is not
I was,
nominated anywhere.
I was going to say, do you find that a bit strange that it's not been? Yeah, it's literally been completely not even in any of the other categories either. Sort of the below the line categories, but I haven't seen it because you know my thoughts on the first one. So I can't say too much, but obviously I expected to see it at least nominated for something.
Yeah, I gotta be careful what I say here, otherwise the Ariana Grande stands are coming for me. And the Wicked stands, actually, just in general. I'm not surprised. I'm just
Okay.
going to be honest. I'm not. I am very happy that it had the presence that it did last year. I
Mm-hmm.
think that, obviously, despite our differing opinions on the first part, I
Mm-hmm.
thought that it was a perfect film. I thought that it did everything that
Mm-hmm.
that I wanted Wicked to be. It was a massive celebration of Wicked, and the performances were great. Just everything about it was great, and all the nominations I thought last year were incredibly deserved. But
Do you think
I
that
just
might be?
unfortunately,
Do you think that might be why it's been sort of edged out this time because it had quite a big presence last year?
I think that's probably a decent enough explanation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I would also say that just the general quality of the second part compared to the first part is very different and very.
Okay.
I would say it's less than, unfortunately. Um, but also, yeah, I suppose it's like not seeing Avatar: Fire and Ash, where Avatar: Way of the Water did get in. It's probably just the same kind of thing of, you know. And I know there was a lot of rumbling about Ariana Grande being like the first person to be nominated for the same role in, concurrent years.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, I do understand why it's kind of been missed off, although a lot of people are very upset about it. And I kind of get it, but you know, it is what it is.
Another one that I think people have been surprised at being left out, international films, No Other Choice, which seems to be getting quite a lot of
Yes. Oh my god.
um getting quite a lot of love and that out there. So
Yeah, I
this is
think the
I've not
Academy.
seen it. It's only just come out for us, I think, hasn't it? This one
Yes, yeah, just
this
last
weekend.
week. Yeah, I think yeah, the Academy hate Park Chan Wook, to be honest. At this point, no, I would have loved um to have seen that get a nomination anywhere, even if it was just an international. It is a great film, so to kind of not see it there. Talking of international film, though,
Mhm.
a film that I was really surprised to see get nominated was The Voice of Hind Rajab, which I think is
Okay.
um great that it's been nominated. I mean, it's an absolutely just I mean, I remember watching it at LFF and just kind of coming out and it just being so kind of well, yeah, it's crazy. But I think it's good that it's been nominated because it gets eyes and ears on the topic, um and I think it's a really well made film as well, considering the subject matter. So I'm very glad to see that there in that category.
Cool. So, is there anything else you'd like to touch upon before we finish up?
I think that was probably the last bit. I think it would be funny if we did some predictions close to the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. I think we're trying to arrange something as a team to get some predictions in. I think
Yeah.
we did it last year. I think me and Romy did the predictions last year, and we were useless, both of us. I think we were going with heart instead of head.
Yeah. That's how I always do it. That's how I always do it. If the person I want to win doesn't win, I'm in a bad mood for the rest of the day. That's just how it is.
So the Academy Awards is on March the 15th. Is that correct? Sunday,
Yeah.
March the 15th. Will you? I'm guessing you'll be staying up for it.
Most probably, unless Jonathan Ross is presenting the ITV coverage, then I might just skip it.
Have they not confirmed yet who's covering it?
I don't think so. No, we'll see. We'll wait with bated breath.
Well, thank you very much for joining me. It's been great diving into all of these nominations. I know we've probably missed quite a lot. We've jumped through the categories, but otherwise we'd be sat here all evening.
We would literally be here till tomorrow morning. Literally, yeah.
So I hope you enjoyed watching this podcast. Like, rate and subscribe wherever you watch or listen. You can find more of our work at filmfocusonline.com. Follow us on all socials at filmfocusonline, and don't miss our next episode for more great film discussions. Thank you for joining us, and goodbye.
Bye.